Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. I, Patriarch Uzumaki, inherit Hell Blood Demon God at the beginning. Chapter 1. In the ninja world, the Second Ninja World War is in a stalemate. Sand Shinobi Village, Iwagakure, Konoha gathered in the Land of Rain to confront Rain Shinobi Village. No one attacked first, and everyone was waiting for the fighter plane to appear. The country of the Vortex, the village of the Vortex. Linhai Renmin Village, the sound of killing suddenly came out in the silent night. Countless masked ninjas raised their butcher knives under the horrified eyes of the Uzumaki clan. Run! The enemy sneaked in without anyone noticing. Uzumaki village has been surrounded. Why? Who the hell are they? Scream, howl, blood stained the ground red. The tribe resisted the attack. A 5 or 6-year-old girl covered her mouth and watched the tribe fall down helplessly. Her name is Uzumaki Kushina, and like the fleeing clansmen, she has no real fighting power. What to do? Uzumaki village is under siege, where can she escape? The desperate girl was filled with uneasiness. Suddenly, she seemed to think of something. Go to the forbidden area. The most mysterious place of the Uzumaki clan. I heard that in the forbidden area, a certain figure of the Uzumaki family has been in seclusion for decades. But because of the long time, there is a strange enchantment in that place. Even if people from the Uzumaki clan enter, it is full of danger. And for so long, no one can guarantee that the rumored hero of the Uzumaki clan is still alive. But right now, relying on the unique prohibition there, it is the safest place in Uzumaki village at this moment. The girl called out to her companions, hoping that more people would follow her to take refuge there. But in the panic, no one cared what a child said. Those who are capable of fighting or resisting, while the rest are running for their lives. No way. Dragging his tired body, Kushina went to the forbidden area alone. The so-called forbidden area is actually the back mountain in the center of Uzumaki village. But what makes Kushina strange is that the atmosphere in the forbidden area is completely different from what she felt before. When she was 3 years old, she trespassed into the forbidden area because of her naughtiness, but she was lost by the strange barrier after walking a few steps, and finally walked around and came out again. But it's different now. She just stepped into the back mountain, that strange feeling didn't appear. On the contrary, you can clearly see the hall above the steps that enshrines that existence. What happened? The girl couldn't help but feel a little desperate. Could it be that the prohibition is no longer there? Is the last remaining safe haven of the Uzumaki clan gone? Wiping away tears, Kushina walked up step by step. This is the absolute center of Uzumaki village, and her people are all rushing in one direction, planning to break through. So there is no one near the forbidden area. Step up to the steps. Unlike last time, this time she could clearly see the stone tablets on both sides of the steps, one after another. Glancing at it, Kushina was filled with shock. Sengoku Jaiwan, the strongest of the Uzumaki clan. 8-year-old transforms the sealing technique of the Uzumaki clan. 10-year-old strength is close to that of the Patriarch, and Uzumaki is the most wise and brave. He has made suggestions for the Uzumaki clan and has made outstanding achievements repeatedly. At the age of 12, I created several kinds of ninjutsu that were used in conjunction with the sealing technique, which greatly improved the combat effectiveness of the Uzumaki clan. At the age of 14, I created the Uzumaki clan's combat theory course, which improved my Uzumaki clan's combat coordination ability. At the age of 15, he fought against Uchiha Madara and successfully defeated the opponent, laying the cornerstone of the strong Uzumaki clan. I moved to the Uzumaki tribe at the age of 16, built the Uzumaki village, and established the status of the Uzumaki tribe. At the age of 17, he led the tribe to fight against the Uchiha clan again, wiped out countless enemies, and defeated Uchiha. 18 years old, due to unknown reasons, announced retreat. Uzumaki young patriarch, Uzumaki Su Feng. It's him. Kushina suddenly realized. She had heard about this existence from the seniors in the clan. But Sengoku period to today. This young patriarch, I am afraid that he has long been. Uzumaki, is there hope? Feeling uneasy, Kushina finally stepped on the last step. Into the purpose, is a lifelike statue. A handsome penultimate boy was sitting on the throne, with a stick in his hand on the ground all year round, with a cynical smile on his face, and long hair draped over his shoulders. Is this Uzumaki Su Feng? The strongest ever of the Uzumaki clan. Right now is his retreat location. But around, there is nothing to hide your safe position. After climbing up, she didn't see the strongest man with white hair, only a lonely statue and a hall for worship. Kushina was full of despair, and knelt down in front of the statue with a thump, shedding unwilling tears. The sound of killing is approaching from the foot of the mountain. She knew that the people of the clan were falling one after another, and the Uzumaki clan could not hold on for long. There's another one in there. Don't leave it alive. A murderous voice came, and Kushina, who was kneeling on the ground, did not look back to check the arrival of the enemy. Instead, he calmly sighed at the statue, and then kowtowed slowly. Boom! There was a crisp sound. Kushina stared blankly at the floor touched by her head. What was that sound just now? However, before Kushina could react, a fiery breath suddenly approached behind him. Fire style, great fireball technique. Closing his eyes in despair, Kushina gave up struggling. The fireball was advancing rapidly, and she could already feel the fiery breath. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. The pain did not come. Kushina opened his eyes in doubt. And in front of her, a figure stood there. Turning her face, she saw the man's closed eyes. Suddenly, both eyes opened. Countless chains drilled out of his body. Adamantine sealing chains. The unique sealing technique of the Uzumaki family, even this move can make him play well. The fireball was wrapped in chains before it could get close. With a raised eyebrow, the chain seemed to be spiritual, and the fireball was returned intact to the ninja who attacked him. Eyelids moved slightly, and the man slowly opened his eyes. With a little doubt and confusion in the deep pupils, a cold voice came slowly. Who is disturbing my sleep? Kushina was shocked. Statue disappears. Patriarch, we're out. Kill the enemy casually. Uzumaki Su Feng turned his head. Are you, Uzumaki Kushina? As a time traveler, Uzumaki Su Feng obviously knew what Kushina looked like when he was a child. Eyes narrowed slightly, with Kushina's age now, and the enemy who just attacked her. He already understood what time period it was now. The Second Ninja World War, a battle in which the Uzumaki clan was destroyed. I have seen it, old ancestor. Kushina was in shock. She obviously didn't know why the ancestor had retreated for so long and looked so young. But after a brief shock, Kushina suddenly remembered the family under attack. Old ancestor, please ancestor, save the Uzumaki clan. A 5 or 6-year-old child, I don't know why the Uzumaki clan was besieged, but the man in front of him is the last straw for the Uzumaki clan. Catch it desperately, there is always no mistake. The strongest player of the Uzumaki clan during the Sengoku period, just looking at the adamantine sealing chains just played, he knew that the opponent was not weak. If it was him, desperate with respect and apprehension, Kushina's eyes are extremely sincere. Is it really this time? Uzumaki Su Feng nodded. He is a time traveler, but the era he travels in is a bit weird, and the plot hasn't even started yet. Just after coming to the world of Hokage, he was in Sengoku, the son of the head of the Uzumaki clan of that generation. He is very talented, and he has been thinking about the sealing technique of the Uzumaki family since he was very young. But Uzumaki Su Feng also understood. In this world of father fighting, although the Uzumaki clan's starting point is not bad, even Uzumaki has an upper limit in the future. During his time as Sengoku, he had seen Uchiha Madara's Sharingan, and also witnessed the power of Senju Hashirama, the god of ninjas. In the early stage, maybe he can still use his talent to wrestle with the opponent. But in the later stage, after Indra and Ashura were linked, he would definitely not be able to beat him. So after defeating Uchiha Madara for the last time at 17, Uzumaki Su Feng plotted the way forward. But the road has just begun, and the system suddenly descended in the second year. The task of system activation is very simple, just activate the enchantment with the help of the system, and then enter the closed state. After thinking about the comfortable period after the Uzumaki clan Sengoku ended, Uzumaki Su Feng planned to retreat without much hesitation in order to gain a firm foothold in the future. It is said to be a retreat, but it is actually a sleep. According to the system, his bodily functions will not be affected in any way during the retreat, nor will he become old due to the passage of time. So after a nap, he was still 18. As for the way and method of exiting the customs, the system prompts it very clearly, it won't be too long, everything has a definite number. The Kushina in front of me is the best illustration. It seems that she entered the forbidden area by accident, but this forbidden area is not accessible to ordinary people. It is probably no coincidence that the band disappears today. But save Uzumaki. Su Feng's strength is not bad, but today's plan against Uzumaki village is a killer move, with his strength. Ding! The Super God Group system has been successfully activated. Check the current timeline, the initial mission has been confirmed. Please host to save the Uzumaki crisis and become the Patriarch of the Uzumaki clan. The initial battle template is random. The awakening of Prison Blood Demon God has been confirmed, and the combat power has been loaded. Do you want to inherit it? Coming. Uzumaki Su Feng was overjoyed. The purpose of retreating for so long is to activate the system. It has been detected that the Uzumaki clan is constantly dying. Please complete the task as soon as possible to save the Uzumaki clan. At that time, the Patriarch's functional authority will be released. After the initial task is completed, will the follow-up function be activated? Prison Blood Demon God Battle Template. He is familiar with this. The Mad Dog Warrior of Arad. Su Feng smiled slightly. Even the awakened Mad Warrior power is enough to wipe out the enemy. This is not a power system at all. According to the urine nature of the system, his awakening in the future is not the end, and there must be a way to improve. Handsome is still handsome in Sanju. Shaking his head, Uzumaki Su Feng took a deep breath. Crazy warriors need blood to kill people, and the Uzumaki family has nothing else, but they have a lot of vitality. According to this characteristic, Uzumaki and Crazy Warrior are quite compatible. It seems reasonable for the system to give this ability. Inherit. There is no other nonsense. From the name of the system, it can be seen that in the future, he will take the path of leading Uzumaki forward. If the tribe dies, one will be lost, so he has to do it as soon as possible. Boom! A burst of ancient memories flooded into my mind, and the various skills of the Crazy Warrior were lit up. In an instant, Uzumaki Su Feng's pupils turned red like blood, but the red hair was still flowing and did not turn white. What made him even more satisfied was that, apart from the red pupils, the ghost hand succumbed to Kazan syndrome did not appear. In other words, he obtained the strength of the Prison Blood Demon God without any side effects. Prison Blood Demon God. Absorb the blood energy of others and transform it into your own life. Killing intent burst out in his eyes, and Su Feng suddenly stretched out a finger to point into the distance. Whoosh! The two chains sprang out instantly. Boom! The boulder shattered, and the ninja hiding there waiting for the opportunity was terrified, and was pulled down in front of Su Feng by the adamantine ceiling chains. Pinching the enemy's neck with one hand, Su Feng's voice was indifferent. Kurigakure, or Cloud Shinobi Village. Or maybe the two ninja villages join forces. Forget it, I know you will definitely not betray your ninja village, so go die. Use one hand. The power of blood in Su Feng's body had a huge suction force, which instantly made the ninja speechless. He could clearly feel that the blood in his body was flowing rapidly, and at the same time, the hand pinching his neck was getting stronger and stronger. One thing to say, before he died, he really wanted to tell Uzumaki Su Feng a word. Lousy is not that loyal to his ninja village. Can you torture me a little bit? Boom. Respond to his. It was the blood mist after the soul-devouring hand exploded. Behind him, Kushina's face was pale, and she covered her mouth to force herself not to spit it out. But the frightened eyes betrayed her inner thoughts. Su Feng didn't look back, just shook his hands calmly, then walked into the blood mist and walked down the mountain with the saber on the dead ninja's body. And beside Kushina's ear, a man's slightly magnetic voice sounded slowly. Find a quiet place to hide. Uzumaki has me and will not die. Patriarch, the defense line to the west has missed, what should we do? The front can't stand it anymore. There are too many enemies, and they seem to be very familiar with our defenses. Some enemies specially detour to attack us from behind. Patriarch, 1/3 of the ninjas who can fight have been killed. I'm afraid we won't be able to break through from the front. The front of Uzushio village. The patriarch of the Uzumaki clan, the Uzumaki dragon, is ashen-faced. One battle report after another made him physically and mentally exhausted. He didn't know why the enemy attacked Uzumaki, and there were so many of them. Since Sengoku, the Uzushio village has occupied the Uzumaki country, and they have settled in a corner, and have not offended any ninja village. And as Konoha's allies, those ninja villages are also extremely polite to them. But the attack came too suddenly. The ninjutsu used by the enemy is also varied, and it is impossible to guess the identity of the opponent, but after thinking about it carefully, Uzumaki Ryuji has a direction in his heart. However, even knowing the identity of the enemy cannot help the current Uzumaki clan. The opponent made a deadly move with a very clear purpose. No matter how old or young, making a move is a killer move, and I have no intention of negotiating with them at all. This is to completely wipe out their Uzumaki clan. With the last hope, he looked at a tribe next to him. Is there any news from Konoha? Yes, Uzushio village, they are allies of Konoha. Although the country of rain is a bit far away, if Konoha sends an order to support the ninja troops stationed in the country of rain, there may be a chance. As long as you persevere, there is always hope. Even if Konoha gave the news, he could give the tribe some stable signals, and just wait for the reinforcements. No, according to your instructions, the message was sent through the summoning beast when the battle started, but there has been no response yet. The clansmen shook their heads bitterly. It seems that overnight, there is no place for the Uzumaki family in the ninja world. Why is this happening? Uzumaki Ryuji let out a long sigh. Konoha's indifference caught him off guard. Knowing that Uzumaki Mito is still alive, how could they refuse to save their allies? He couldn't understand the other party's behavior. In fact, Uzumaki village, which has been stable for decades, probably has forgotten what it feels like to be in a war. This is a rich family left over from the Sengoku period, and the glory in his bones may have been completely forgotten. The same Sengoku clan, Uchiha and Hyuga, and even Senju, they are growing and growing all the time, following ninja village to fight everywhere. But now the Uzumaki family has not experienced the taste of war for a long time, being besieged from all sides. Some people even forgot to resist. This is a kind of sadness. Thinking a little trance, he seemed to remember something. Once the young patriarch of the penultimate in the Sengoku period, he left a few words before retreating. And one of the sentences specifically told the Uzumaki family not to forget the war, kindness and ease, and will never save the Uzumaki family. He used to scoff a little. But now he understood the meaning of this sentence. The Uzumaki family is not weak, but what he sees now is just a group of empty bodies with powerful chakra and vitality. They lost their souls. Such a family, even if there is no disaster today, I am afraid that it is only a matter of time before they perish. On the night of genocide, Uzumaki Ryuji suddenly woke up. It is not enough for others to fear the characteristics of the Uzumaki clan and fear their sealing power. Uzumaki needs real force, not a corner. No, it's wrong. Suddenly, a cold voice came from behind. At this moment, Uzumaki Ryuji suddenly felt a heartfelt fear. Turn around, look back. His expression was a little unbelievable. The signature robe of the Uzumaki clan during the Sengoku period. Holding the sword in one hand, with fresh blood on it, it was obvious that he had just taken the life of an enemy with his own hands. It's not too late to realize my mistake now. The indifferent eyes dissipated, replaced by a touch of appreciation. Uzumaki wiped out the genocide. This is a man-made disaster. But it is also doomed. Being able to reflect on the disaster, the patriarch of the Uzumaki clan of this generation is not a fool. However, since he left the customs, the position of the patriarch of the Uzumaki clan is no longer the opponent's turn. Not talking nonsense to Uzumaki Ryuji, Uzumaki Su-fung flicked the blood of the long sword and strode towards the front line. Your Excellency is. It's just that Uzumaki Ryuji seems to have thought of something, and a portrait his father showed him when he became the patriarch. Uzumaki Su-fung, your ancestor. Smiling sassily, and tilting his head, the eyes of Su-fung, a stranger who would definitely be horrified, made Uzumaki Ryuji feel a touch of kindness. Patriarch is out. Patriarch, what's wrong with you? Who is Uzumaki Su-fung? Next to him, the young clansman who had witnessed everything was full of doubts. He didn't understand why the patriarch's expression was so exaggerated. You do not understand. The stone in Uzumaki's heart suddenly dropped, and then he showed a serious look. He is the strongest of the Uzumaki clan. He's out of customs, and the family is saved. Long-er said firmly. His confidence comes from the calm smile of the ancestor just now. Besides, suddenly thought of something, Uzumaki Ryuji took a deep breath. Starting today, don't call me Patriarch. Uzumaki Su-feng is the real patriarch of the Uzumaki clan. Send a message immediately, let the clansmen gather, and follow the clan leader to prepare to break through. As soon as Uzumaki Ryuji finished speaking, he suddenly froze. Immediately afterwards, there was an explosion in his ears. Break out from your mother and arrange for the tribe to gather and stand by. Then, don't get too close to me. Ancestor, what does this mean? Uzumaki Long-er was taken aback. Then he nodded quickly and shouted loudly. Yes, ancestor, you were right, I'll arrange it right away. Captain, something is wrong. Outside Uzushio village, the Kurigakure ninja who was fighting with all his strength was a little puzzled. He can feel it very clearly. The ninjas of Uzushio village, who were still resisting just now, suddenly retreated a lot, and now they encountered fewer and fewer enemies. What happened? The squad leader's eyes under the mask were murderous, and he turned his head to ask. I don't know, the people in Uzumaki village suddenly retreated, and our people dare not pursue without authorization. Our task is to contain the front, and the remaining companions will touch in from the prescribed route to kill. What should we do now? Stand still or? The name was a little uncertain. Don't panic. The leader of the Kurigakure combat unit waved his hand calmly. It has been said above that there will be no problems with the plan to destroy Uzumaki village. Keep attacking. Don't forget what Mizukage-sama said, the more enemies you kill, the more rewards you will get. Really? The Kurigakure ninja nodded. Could Uzushio village have reinforcements coming? I heard that Uzushio village and Konoha are allies. Reinforcements? The captain sneered. Let me tell you the truth, even if we kill everyone in Uzushio village today, we won't see Konoha's reinforcements. Also, who do you think provided our offensive line? Could it be? The subordinate was startled, as if he wanted to ask something, but was stopped by the captain's eyes. Don't ask if you shouldn't know. Order, all members gather for a frontal assault. The battle has entered a white-hot stage. Uzumaki village is not slow. When Uzumaki Su-feng stood calmly at the entrance of Uzumaki village, appearing as a man in charge. All Uzumaki Ryuji needed to do was to order his subordinates to stand behind him. The clansmen have been assembled in an orderly manner. Kushina, who had seen Su-feng's strange strength before, was also in the team. What is the Patriarch going to do? Is it possible to confront the enemy head-on? How is this possible? There are so many opponents, there is no chance of winning in a direct confrontation. No, just now I heard from the Patriarch that he has resigned, and the position of Patriarch has been given to that young man. What happened? Is the Patriarch crazy? God me, Uzumaki. Quote. The clansmen whispered. Even when they learned that Uzumaki Ryuji had suddenly quit, the whispers turned into loud discussions. They didn't think about competing for the position of Patriarch. But at this stage, how can it be time to change the Patriarch? Isn't what Uzumaki Ryuji should do to lead his tribe to resist the attack? Or what method did the young man use? They do not know. But doubts are clearly not in the minority. Shut up. Ahead, Uzumaki Ryuji shouted seriously. Uzumaki Su-feng is the strongest of my Uzumaki clan, he is not worthy to be the Patriarch, you are worthy. Only he can lead Uzumaki through it. Uzumaki Su-feng. When this name appeared, the clansmen in the rear were silent for a while, and then each showed expressions of disbelief. Uzumaki Su-feng's name, they are not unclear. The family is no stranger to that deed. In fact, the improved adamantine sealing chains are also a great contributor to their ability to resist until now without annihilation. The Uzumaki family, the theories learned in the family, were even created by that man. Isn't that the ancestor who suddenly announced retreat during the Sengoku period? How could he be alive? Obviously, apart from Kushina, few people believe that the other party really exists. The enemy is coming. During the discussion, someone suddenly spoke up. The eyes of the clansmen gathered in the past. In front of Uzushio village, nearly 100 masked ninjas pushed forward. And the man standing at the entrance of the village suddenly moved. What is shocking is that he did not issue orders like the Patriarch, but walked straight towards the enemy with a long sword in his hand. Patriarch, that's it. The people of the tribe are full of sorrow. What they need is a patriarch who can calmly lead the Uzumaki clan to resist the attack and wait for reinforcements. Not a patriarch who just got the title of patriarch and rushed to die. God kills me, Uzumaki. A certain clan elder sighed, as if he had been appointed. The ancestor is very strong. Kushina finally couldn't help but speak. She witnessed the scene where the ancestor killed the enemy lightly. Although that scene made her a little queasy, but after thinking about it carefully, those beasts were the enemies who killed her people. She hoped that those people would die more miserable. What do you know? How can a ninja fight no matter how strong a person is? That's right, kids, don't watch it, the scene will probably be too brutal for a while. Oh, forget it, I have to die here today. Obviously, no one believed Kushina's words. How strong can a person be? Even if the ancestor goes out, can he be stronger than the god of ninja no matter how strong he is? Kushina blushed, but she couldn't refute with her poor vocabulary. Come on, patriarch. Clenching her fists, the girl stared at the figure. As if hearing the girl's words, the originally calm man's momentum changed drastically. Blood rage. A low shout came from the man's throat. After the violent blood surged, he didn't stop at all. Ramp away. Bloodthirsty. The blood in his body surged up wildly. The man bowed his body and held the sword in both hands, and jumped into the air the next moment. Break the mountains and slash the ground. Next moment. The ground shakes, the mountains shake. What's going on? An earthquake. When the earth trembled, the ninjas who originally wanted to attack Uzumaki village looked terrified. The trembling ground made it impossible for them to stand still. And in front of the Uzumaki village, the originally sturdy and tall trees were also broken in the middle, and at the same time, there were many companions on the ground whose bodies were broken. Those people didn't even have time to scream. What happened? They do not know. Only the ninja in front, before dying, saw the man who jumped up and landed on the ground. The shock brought by the landslide has just begun. When the man landed, the ground in front of him was shattered inch by inch, and it seemed as if something was about to spew out from the cracked ground. The trembling of the ground subsided a lot. A certain ninja managed to gain a foothold when he suddenly smelled blood. Slowly lowering his head, he suddenly froze. The bloody smell actually came from the cracked ground under his feet. What happened? The panicked ninja looked at his companion. And his companion was obviously stunned by the change under his feet. The land below Uzumaki village, will there be a bloody smell coming from it? What happened? No, I have to report it to the captain, such a change may be deceitful. But before he could move, the ground that had been quiet for a moment trembled again. 1, 2. Finally, when Mother Earth was unbearable, pillars of blood shot up into the sky one after another. Ah! A scream came. The terrified ninja followed the voice and saw that the companion who was hit by the blood column turned into a cloud of blood mist after holding on for a second. What happened? What ability is this? When did the Uzumaki clan become such a terrifying existence again? There was no time for him to think. Blood spurted from his feet, and his life was counting down. Far away, when the people of the Uzumaki clan saw this scene, the original noisy voice became extremely silent. One clansman after another opened their mouths, shock written all over their faces. And those clansmen who questioned the strength of their patriarch seemed to be slapped in the face. But they are not embarrassed. Instead, my heart is full of surprises and joy. The newly appointed patriarch is so powerful. With just one move, the mountains collapse and the ground cracks. What a power it is! Does this power really belong to the Uzumaki clan? The blow that was enough to change the terrain was actually done by the ancestor. But they haven't recovered from the shock. The blood gushing from the ground made them witness an unforgettable scene in this life. Blood ran through his body, and countless screams came and went. When all is said and done, the front of that man directly turned into a vacuum. This is not a DNF game. After the Hellblood demon god destroyed the land, the screen still maintained the appearance after the attack. The earth shattered, and within tens of meters ahead, it was completely turned into a purgatory on earth. The bloody smell soared into the sky, and the broken limbs and arms told the story of what happened here. And the instigator of everything, Uzumaki Su Feng's eyes were scarlet, and he looked at another place. The Devil Prison Blood Break. Without any hesitation, there were many enemies who invaded the Uzumaki clan. His purpose is only one: kill all intruders, complete the initial system tasks, and unlock more functions. With a low drink, a bloody sword hilt appeared behind the man. DNF Prison Blood Demon God once awakened active skills, released instantly. Su Feng clearly felt that the magic sword behind him was thirsting for blood. Whoosh! Stepping on one foot, after blessing the rampage and the blood break of the prison, his speed is like lightning and even surpasses the so-called body flicker technique. His physical strength does not seem to be human, and he has no idea where the limit is. In just an instant, he had rushed from one side of the battlefield to the other. In front of him was a somewhat bewildered enemy. The Blade of Blood. Without any nonsense, when the long sword penetrated the opponent's chest, countless blood burst from his body. The space in front began to distort, and with a bang, the enemy's body exploded, and blood rushed away in front of Uzumaki Su Feng. At the same time, as if sensing the arrival of fresh blood, the magic sword behind Uzumaki Su Feng grew a little longer. What kind of power is this that can control blood? The Uzumaki clan hides such a powerful force. Sealing technique can fight against tailed beasts. This alone is enough for heaven-defying. There is such a method. Blood escape. Is it the secret technique of the Uzumaki family? Or the blood succession limit? No one understood what the reason for this man's sudden attack was. But it seems that the word, blood escape, fits the aura of Uzumaki Su Feng at the moment. The whole body was violent, and the blood was surging. Just that kind of breath made them feel palpitations. No, look into his eyes. An exclamation came, and the ninjas instantly discovered the abnormality of Uzumaki Su Feng. The scarlet eyes hide blood, and it seems to be somewhat similar to the Sharingan of the Uchiha clan. You have no chance to see it. After killing several people in a row, the bloody prison behind him was completely formed. With a bloodthirsty smile on his face, the man waved his hand behind him. Immediately afterwards, the magic sword fell into his hand as if possessing spirituality. Under everyone's horrified gazes, Uzumaki Su Feng swung his magic sword and slammed it into the ground. Boom! The real hellfire overturned the earth, and when a touch of red flame appeared, a catastrophe fell on the invaders. And after the man smashed the magic sword, he didn't even bother to look back at the hell scene he created, turned around calmly, and walked towards Uzumaki village, as if he didn't make the purgatory on earth at all. The massacre has only just begun. He has already sensed the enemy who wants to raid the rear through Kagura's mind. Uzumaki Su Feng is very talented. To what extent is it strong? Because there is no comparison, he himself does not know. So even in the Sengoku era, he was not at a disadvantage in the battle with the Uchiha clan. Even Uchiha Madara, he has beaten many times. But he also understood. What he defeated was Madara who had activated Mangekyo, not Madara who had eternal Mangekyo. He is confident that he can use the improved adamantine sealing chains to lock the mature Susanoo, but if it is the complete Susanoo brought by the eternal Mangekyo, it cannot be stopped at all. His talent is very strong, which means that even if he does not retreat, he is confident to lead the Uzumaki family to walk their own path. So he left several words behind. But now it seems that because of the change of times, the Uzumaki clan who have not experienced war have all become sheep. They have a huge chakra but do not practice seriously. This simply doesn't work. Kagura opened his eyes, and the man walked towards Uzumaki village step by step with a long sword in his hand. And at this moment, he saw fear in the eyes of his own people. What are they afraid of? Will he attack them? It is okay to be in awe of the strong, but if you lose the belief in fighting, how much glory is left in the hearts of the Uzumaki clan? Su Feng pouted. Obviously, the glorious team he led during the Sengoku period did not leave his spirit behind. The Uzumaki family at that time and the current Uzumaki family are basically two ethnic groups. The tactics he formulated, relying on the strong vitality of the Uzumaki family to focus on training, may not be fully passed down. Otherwise, it would be impossible for so many people to die when Uzumaki village was attacked today. But it doesn't matter. He is out of customs, and he will control everything in Uzumaki village from now on. Cowardly actions will never be tolerated. Su Feng will completely change all this in his own way. To the crowd, the clansmen consciously gave way. They were a little afraid to look at Su Feng. The strongest of the Uzumaki clan during the Sengoku period, his fighting style is a bit violent. The ninja world admires the strong, and they vividly express their fear of the strong. Uzumaki Ryuji. Stopping, Su Feng spoke softly. Facing his own people, although the man's eyes were red and his words were cold, his good skin made the clansman feel that the new patriarch was violent when he didn't make a move. Exist. Uzumaki Long-Eri walked over quickly. After he came to his senses, he understood that Uzumaki Su Feng's deterrence by force was necessary today, so he knelt on the ground with a thump and waited for punishment. Organize the tribe, count the losses, and harvest the spoils. Do you need me to teach you these too? Uzumaki Su Feng moved his eyes slightly, and said calmly. Ah, Lord Patriarch, I don't know if there are any enemies at the entrance of the village. If you go there rashly. Not far away, a young clansman whispered. It's not that he questioned Su Feng's actions, but that the current situation doesn't seem optimistic, and everything must be careful. Except for a few bedbugs who dare not fight, the rest of the enemies have been wiped out. Do as I say. With slightly raised eyebrows, Su Feng walked towards the back. It's the eyes of Kagura. The old patriarch took a deep breath and looked at the young clansman. According to records, the patriarch had a super-perceptual power at the age of 5, and awakened the Kagura mind of the Uzumaki clan at the age of 7. I'm afraid that now, the entire Uzushio village is within the perception range of Kagura's mind. Don't question the patriarch's decision. This time, Uzumaki Ryuji guessed right. As early as when he was fighting, Su Feng had already figured out the movements of all the enemies. It seems that they are using the strategy of blitzkrieg. Those enemies no longer want to leave the ink, and they gather back and forth, planning to directly destroy all Uzumaki clansmen with a wave of charge. But now the enemies in front have been wiped out by Su Feng's 2 big moves, and only the rear needs to be dealt with. As for the bugs in his mouth, with the corner of his mouth slightly raised, Su Feng let out a sneer. Just as he thought, Uzumaki was attacked, and the news of the help that came out was lost with the help of some people. And those people have only one purpose: pick up the leak. After all, every member of the Uzumaki clan is a born-tailed beast Jinchuriki. Captain, what should we do? Not far from Uzumaki village, on a certain mountain peak. After witnessing everything, the ninja wearing a strange mask half kneeled beside a person and asked. Things went a bit beyond expectations. Originally, their plan was to find the fish that slipped through the net when both sides were running out of money, and then rescued each other to Konoha under the pretext of protection. Vocabulary such as saving a benefactor and giving charcoal in a timely manner will always win favor. It will be easier to control then. But now, everything is not the script they had planned. Instead, an existence that is difficult to control suddenly popped up. Even at such a distance, they could still smell blood in the air. Uzumaki family, blood escape. Bravado or have a whole card. The Anbu captain frowned, somewhat incomprehensible. According to the plan, the destruction of the Uzumaki family is a certainty. But that person killed hundreds of intruders with just a few moves. If his strength is genuine, he may have reached cage level. Only cage level can change the pattern of local wars. Now, there are 2 roads in front of him. First, get rid of that unstable factor. But he was not sure. The second is to appear as a rescuer, enter the Whirlpool village to find out the truth of the other party, and then plan another way. No matter which way, there is only one ultimate goal. After getting Uzumaki Mido, qualified 9 tails Jinchuriki. Send a message to the village and wait for instructions. After hesitating again and again, he chose the safe second path. Ninja world, especially this timeline. Judging from the strength of Uzumaki Su Feng's first awakening, there are too few people who can stop him. Unless Uchiha Madara drags his old body and fights him desperately, he will definitely be able to walk sideways in the ninja world. With this power, it is enough to guarantee the early development of the Uzumaki family. Kagura opened his eyes, and in an instant he had grasped the direction of the enemies who were encircling and wanted to attack Uzushio village. It seems that these people discovered the change at the entrance of the village, so they wanted to check what happened and did not attack immediately. This actually gave Su Feng a lot of convenience. The ghostly pace shuttled through every corner of the village, and the chains of adamantine ceiling chains strangled all the enemies. The clansmen are already safe, so he doesn't need to worry about it. In just 10 minutes, he wiped out the enemies who dared to invade Uzumaki village with an absolutely crushing posture. Only behind him, 3 ninjas who were tightly bound by chains survived by chance. This is what he specially left alive. Today, the Uzumaki family has lost so many people, it needs an explanation. This explanation was not given by him, Uzumaki Sufeng, but by the enemy. The people of the tribe need a spiritual sublimation to understand why they encountered the disaster of extinction. To be precise, it was he, the Patriarch, who taught his clan members the first lesson. Can you survive in this cruel ninja world by focusing on peace and not provoking others? Obviously not. Not to mention the present, even if we can comfortably reach the 4th Ninja World War, who knows if 10 Tails Tail Beast Cannon will hit Uzushio village. He is the exact system. Little Son 4th Hokage moved a tailed beast bomb to the sea. These all need to be prepared in advance. Correct the thinking of the tribe. Strength is the weapon to maintain peace. Dragging the 3 of them, the chains of the adamantine ceiling chains rubbed against the ground, making a creaking sound, which made one's scalp tingle. What surprised Sufeng was that when he came to the entrance of the village again, there were a few more strangers in front of him. Judging from the lines on the masks, they and those intruders don't seem to be from the same force. Bedbugs who dare not touch. This is how Sufeng described the behavior of these people before. Master Patriarch, Uzumaki longer hesitated and came to Sufeng. First, he glanced at the 3 enemies locked by chains, then retracted his gaze and explained in a low voice. According to your instructions, we found these people when we were cleaning the battlefield. They claim to be people from Konoha. Sufeng was not surprised by the identities of these people. In fact, Konoha probably knew about this invasion war from the very beginning. But they didn't remind Uzumaki village, and they didn't help. Even after the war, Uzumaki Kushina was taken by hand to prepare for the next generation of 9 Tails Jinchuriki. The abacus was pretty good. Certainly, Sufeng didn't bother to comment on Konoha's approach. Although they are allies, in the final analysis, it is love for others to help you, and it is duty not to help. After all, the country of rain is still confronting other ninja villages, whether to support or not, has its own reasons. But, according to the above level, he will not say anything. But there was one thing that really caught Sufeng's attention. For example, why these people can sneak around Uzumaki villages outside eyeliner and come here all the way. Another example is whether Konoha provides any help in the other party's invasion plan. With his expression getting colder, Sufeng stared at the dozen or so masked Konoha shinobi in front of him. In an instant, it was like a real murderous intent, which terrified those people. Prison Blood Demon God has his own aura, mixed with the aura of Sengoku who killed countless people. At this moment, Sufeng is more like Shinigami who has returned from hell, which makes people frightened. Konoha's reinforcements. With restrained aura and a little contempt in his eyes, Sufeng spoke slowly. The word, reinforcement army, seems to be true and somewhat ironic. The captain who led the team was a little embarrassed and quickly explained. Chief Uzumaki should know that Konoha's front line is quite tense, so we are only an advance force, and we will continue to communicate with Master Hokage after confirming the situation. The meaning is obvious. It's not that he can't be saved, it's that Konoha can't get out of people. And now that the crisis in Uzushio village has been resolved, the Uzumaki Patriarch is powerful, so naturally he doesn't need Konoha's support. He praised Sufeng without leaving any trace, and the captain changed the topic. But, the situation in Uzumaki village is chaotic right now, and it's a bit complicated by the way. The Uzumaki family can get through this one time, so what about the next time? That's the point. Lord Third Generation deserves to be Lord Third Generation. When he learned that the Uzumaki clan was not destroyed, he immediately issued another mission. The task content is also very simple. Appease the Uzumaki clan, at all costs. So, in terms of Third Hokage, how should we do it? Uzumaki Sufeng smiled. It seems that the appeasement succeeded. The captain's eyes lit up. Just appeasement is naturally not the purpose of Lord Third Generation. This is also the reason why he admires Lord Third Generation. So, he's going to do it. There is an even more important point. Win over the Uzumaki who have suffered heavy losses, and let them migrate to the Fire Nation in the name of Sanctuary. Thinking over. The running dog, who thought Su Feng was tricked, coughed lightly, then imitated Sarutobi Hiruzen's tone, and started his performance. As we all know, Uzushio village is Konoha's staunch ally. And our Konoha is the #1 ninja village in the ninja world. This time, Uzushio village was attacked, and Konoha did not respond immediately. The reason is very simple. After taking a few steps forward, the captain stretched out his finger. First, messaging is inconvenient. Although the news was delivered by the summoning beast, the speed is still much slower, otherwise Uzumaki village would not have suffered such a heavy loss. Secondly, the land of Vortex is far away from the land of Fire, and Konoha would have to spend a lot of time in rescuing and supporting her. Just imagine, if Uzumaki village is close enough to Konoha, with the friendship between Senju and Uzumaki, our Lord Third Generation will probably lead a team to the rescue as soon as possible. So, based on these 2 points, Lord Third Generation learned from the pain and came up with a plan. The captain narrowed his eyes. The next step is the key point. Right now the Uzumaki family needs resources, manpower and material resources to rebuild. It may take a long time. If the enemy attacks again during this period, the Patriarch may not have time to react. So, my country of fire, Konohagakure, welcome to the Uzumaki clan. I, Konoha, will be a competent ally and accept all Uzumaki clansmen in Uzumaki village and give them shelter. From today onwards, all of you from the Uzumaki clan are my honored guests of Konoha. In one word, it seems to bring into the perspective of the third generation. They seem to feel sorry for what happened to the Uzumaki family. This captain, I'm afraid I've even moved myself. Even, many members of the Uzumaki clan around had a little joy on their faces after he finished speaking. Yes. Konoha is the #1 ninja village, and the Senju clan who founded Konoha are distant relatives of their Uzumaki clan. What's more, Konoha is an ally of Uzushio village. This kind of protection came at a very opportune time during this period. The clansmen looked expectantly at their patriarch. But that calm man seemed to have expected the other party's words early in the morning, and his expression was extremely calm. Well, what then? The man folded his arms and snapped his fingers. Then the fourth chain extended from the body, and then under the shocked eyes of the clansmen, the chain rotated rapidly, and finally wound up into a comfortable seat made of gold chains. Ignoring the bewildered gazes of the clansmen, he sat on it calmly and crossed his legs. The Uzumaki family is full of chakra, and he was used to this chair as early as Sengoku's time. What then? The captain didn't react for a while, and asked with a frown. Cost. The man's words are still concise. There is always a price to pay for shelter. This is common sense. Of course it doesn't cost anything. The captain looked serious. Allies help allies, that's what it should be. But what? People await his next words. However, there are other things that need the help of the Uzumaki Patriarch. Of course, it's not an excessive condition. You also know that Uzumaki Mito-sama is old and needs someone to take care of him. You just need to arrange for a caring family member to go there and take care of the elderly's daily life. Clever. As expected of the Konoha. Even if it was him, Uzumaki Su Feng, he would give his thumbs up right now. What people say is so tight. However, he could hear the inner meaning clearly. They didn't tell Uzumaki to join Konoha and obey the commands starting today. But Uzushio village has moved to the land of fire. Will it be far away to be eaten? Obviously it was a matter of time, and even when they got there, the clansmen who completely let go of their guard were more likely to be killed, the kind that were eaten without spit out their bones. This is just a rhetoric for complete annexation under the banner of protection. Look at what people said below. You don't need to pay the price of the Uzumaki clan, just send a servant girl to Konoha to accompany Uzumaki Mito. At first glance, it seems that it is for the sake of Uzumaki Mito's body. After all, he is old, and he must be happy to have a clansman by his side. But if you think about it with your head, you can understand, isn't this just to prepare for the next generation of Jinchuriki? Send a few tribesmen over there, isn't it clear that they will be arranged by Muyi? What do you think? Seeing that Su Feng seemed to be moved, the captain asked again. It's just that the captain was a little surprised. Su Feng didn't even look at him, but the 3 chains behind him moved. Immediately afterwards, the captain saw the 3 captured intruders. At this moment, the mouths of the three intruders were stuffed with unknown objects, and they could not speak. Standing up, Uzumaki Su Feng walked in front of them. He saw anger in the eyes of the three intruders. But this kind of anger was not aimed at him, but also the captain who rushed towards Konoha. It seems that there is still some use in keeping the three of you alive. With a cold snort, Su Feng looked around at the unknown clansman, and his cold voice reached everyone's ears. As the Patriarch, this is the first lesson I give you. The title of the class, the so-called allies. The surrounding Uzumaki clan looked at the three intruders with some doubts, but more anger. So many clansmen died today, they wished they could cut each other into pieces. But since the Patriarch spared their lives, he obviously had his own considerations. They were waiting for Su Feng's action. At this moment, with a strange smile on Su Feng's face, with a wave of his hand, he casually tore off the thing stuffed in one of the ninja's mouths. If his predictions are correct, the following dog-eat-dog scene will be quite entertaining. Pooh, is this Konoha's plan? Sure enough, when the bondage was lifted and the ability to speak was restored, the ninja directly sprayed Konoha's reinforcement. Let the lousy work hard, and then reap the benefits yourself. No wonder, no wonder. Roaring in grief and indignation, he seemed to have realized something. No wonder you Konohas are so understated. You leaked the guarding situation and deployment of Uzushio village. You didn't participate in the attack. I'm afraid you knew the ancestors of the Uzumaki family had left the customs a long time ago, right? As soon as this statement came out, everyone was dumbfounded. The members of the Uzumaki clan looked at the captain of Konoha with disbelief in their eyes, which then turned into anger. The other party was able to invade the Uzumaki kingdom without anyone noticing, and came so close to the Uzushio village, it turned out to be the help provided by Konoha. What happened? Aren't they allies of Uzumaki village? Konoha, don't spout blood. The captain was in a hurry, and stared at the ninja with a murderous look in his eyes. If it wasn't for Uzumaki Su Feng, he would have killed the ninja immediately. Spitting blood, isn't this what you Konoha's plan is? Use us to consume Uzumaki village's combat power, and then, in the name of shelter, merge the vital forces of the Uzumaki clan into the land of fire. Shit, as long as the Uzumaki family takes root in the nation of fire, even if Konoha doesn't publicize anything, everyone will think that the Uzumaki family has defected to Konoha and become the power of the nation of fire. Hehe, you still send someone to take care of Uzumaki Mito. Anyone with a brain knows that Uzumaki Mito is dying and needs a qualified Jinchuriki to replace him. This is your Konoha's real plan. With a few words, it seemed that the captain's plan was clear. The ninja didn't give Konoha any face, and exposed the other party's subtext on the spot. The Uzumaki clan present also gradually understood Konoha's plan. Kindness and peace do not mean stupidity. They were infected by the captain's words before, and because what happened tonight hit them a bit hard, they were led by the other party's words. Now, they have calmed down. He looked at Captain Konoha with anger and confusion. The anger is understandable, but the incomprehension is that they don't understand why their allies will betray themselves. The alliance between Uzushio village and Konoha was established at the beginning of Konoha's establishment, and Uzumaki Mito is in Konoha at the moment, and has a very high status in Konoha. Why did Konoha do this? Although they didn't directly attack Uzumaki village or the Uzumaki clan, they actually helped the invaders indirectly. This kind of stabbing in the back is creepy. About there. This class is the first step in changing the minds of the clan people. Su Feng's face was indifferent, this was all in his plan. But if you want to promote the dog-eat-dog situation, you only need to let these intruders see Konoha's face clearly, and that's enough. Of course, he still added a fire. For example, when capturing a prisoner, the other party will ask who he is in horror. At this time, he will tell them naturally. I am Uzumaki Su Feng, the patriarch of the Uzumaki clan. The strongest Uzumaki clan in the Sengoku period kicked Uchiha Madara and slapped the existence of Senju Hashirama. The old man has retreated for decades, and he is leaving today. And at this time, as the party being beaten, they often don't believe his Uzumaki Su Feng's words. Because of his existence, decades of time have long been diluted. So when the other party questioned, he would naturally add a sentence. Of course you don't know. Only the old man's former friend Senju Hashirama knows about the departure of the Patriarch. You don't deserve it. Simply sowing dissension. Any relationship with Senju Hashirama is relationship with Konoha. And the other party will naturally attribute everything to Konoha's calculations. Closing the intruder's mouth again, Uzumaki Su-fung looked at Captain Konoha indifferently. Just now, you asked my patriarch what was the answer to the plan to relocate Whirlpool Village. Now do you understand? This is purely disgusting. Their face has been smashed, and their schemes have been completely seen through. How can they still have the face to continue to ask Su-fang's opinion? The captain didn't speak, but this does not mean that Su-fang will let him go lightly. Click. He snapped his fingers casually, and in an instant, crazy chains emerged from under the feet of Konoha's dozen or so reinforcements. Adamantine ceiling chains. The chains enough to restrain the tailed beasts directly locked them firmly. Chief Uzumaki, we are people from Konoha, what are you going to do? Let us go. What is the meaning of the Uzumaki clan? Do you want to tear up the covenant with our Konoha? Listen, until now, I still think from the standpoint of an ally. Su-fung shook his head, raised his eyebrows, and looked at the clansmen around him. This class will only teach you one topic. There are only long-term interests, there is no eternal trust. In addition, Sen Ran's eyes met the captain. Su-fung stretched out his fingers domineeringly. There is a sentence that Lousy has held back for a long time. Protect me from the Uzumaki clan. Tsuruyu Konoha deserves to say that. Hit Rain Shinobi Village and still haven't taken it down. Sarutobi Hiruzen is such a waste. Senju Hashirama will probably vomit blood when he finds out. Turning his back, he was too lazy to continue mocking, and there was no need to waste saliva with the dead. The man's figure stood proudly. Listen to the patriarch. I'm out, so, I, the Uzumaki clan, don't need anyone's protection. With a thought, more than a dozen chains were flying all over the sky. In the next second, a shocking scene appeared. The clansmen looked at the sky, and they could clearly feel the terrifying chakra on the chains. Boom! As the force deepened, a cloud of blood mist exploded directly, and the smell of blood in the air was extremely pungent. This is Su-fang's little experiment. As we all know, the magic of chakra comes from two ways of own cells and natural energy. The chakra born in the first way is purely its own cellular power and spiritual power. So, does this mean that this chakra is actually an extension of its own power? If the power of the prison blood demon god is combined with the sealing technique, what will happen? Adamantine sealing chains gave him the answer. His chains are frantically absorbing the blood energy of the other party at this moment. Ninjutsu needs to be developed. Senju Tobarama can research various forbidden techniques, and Uzumaki Su-fung thinks that his talent is far superior to the opponent, so he must be able to do it too. For example, he changed the form of adamantine sealing chains and other behaviors, which were all attempts in the Sengoku period. But now, he realizes more clearly that the power of the two is common. This discovery made him happy. Just imagine, what would it be like to control adamantine sealing chains from a distance and use the hand of Soul Eater? Now he feels it. If this fighting method is developed properly, it is possible that he only needs to use adamantine sealing chains instead of using skills when fighting in the future. Of course, this requires a lot of actual combat. Bang bang. There were two more muffled bangs, and the three enemy ninjas all died. Their role in being alive has already been brought into play to the fullest, and it is useless to keep their lives alive. The origin of the enemy, he can figure it out with his ass. Moreover, Kagura's mind can clearly perceive the chakra on the opponent. Among the enemies that were killed before, some of them had thunder attribute chakra violent, while some had water attribute. Kurigakure, Cloud Shinobi Village. Because of the geographical location of Ninja Village, Cloud Shinobi Village is surrounded by mountains, and there are often thunderous bangs. Only under the subtle influence of such an environment can people have such a clear perception. Let alone Kurigakure, there is water all around, and the village is full of fog. The identity of the enemy is directly locked. This grievance will definitely be settled in the future. As for the remaining Konoha team, sweeping his gaze at the opposing captain, Su-fung looked slightly cold. What are you up to? The captain panicked. At this moment, he believed 100% that the other party had the guts to kill him. This man is horrible. In addition to strength, the kind of eyes that see through people's hearts made him feel even more terrified. He asked himself that this wave of performances was perfect, but in fact everything was under the control of the other party, and he even asked those ninjas who invaded Uzushio village to pour dirty water on Konoha. This was completely unexpected by the captain. And now, he actually wants to kill Konoha's ninjas like himself. He's crazy. The situation in Uzumaki village is complicated tonight, and I don't know if the news of the call for help has really been passed on. Therefore, Uzushio village did not wait for Konoha's reinforcements. Well, Konoha's reinforcements were wearing the same masks as the invaders, so they were killed by mistake during the attack and defense of Uzumaki village. Is that reasonable? As if telling a very common thing, Su Feng directly identified the identity of the visitor. As he spoke, he looked at Ryuji Uzumaki, as if asking for his opinion. Reasonable, quite reasonable. Uzushio village didn't see Konoha's reinforcements. Stretching out his hand to pat the young clansman next to him, Uzumaki Ryuji's eyes calmed down a lot. What about you? Have you seen the Konoha reinforcements? The boy reacted quickly, and shook his head quickly. I didn't see it, I didn't see a single one. Our Uzumaki village didn't ask for help from Konoha at all. How could there be reinforcements if we didn't ask for help? You are confused. Satisfactory answer. Su Feng laughed, and the strength of the adamantine ceiling chains that controlled Konoha's team suddenly increased. The sky was filled with blood rain, and the farce that announced the destruction of the Uzumaki clan had come to an end. Ding. Detect the host to complete the initial task. Ding. Uzushio village is officially defined as a level 1 ninja village, and the ninja village development panel is open. Ding. Initial task rewards are being distributed. Ding. Congratulations to host for obtaining 1000 clan power points, which can be used to build clan-exclusive buildings. Ding. Congratulations to the Uzumaki family for getting the chance to choose one of the 3 characteristics, illusion immunity quick healing both offense and defense. Please host to choose. Reminder. Every time the ninja village of the Uzumaki family is upgraded, the host can choose one of the 3 operations. The initial task is complete. If rewarded. After hesitating for a while, Su Feng experienced the 3 characteristics. Illusion immunity naturally ignores all illusions. As for the quick healing thing, it seems to be good when combined with the Uzumaki clan's constitution. The combination of offense and defense seems to be the 2 sides of the battle. Touching his chin, Su Feng thought of something. In this era, the old friend, who was beaten up several times by himself, seems to be still alive. Well, although that guy is not mainly based on illusion, Sharingan, after all, has some troubles. In this world, having illusion immunity is also beneficial against infinite Tsukuyomi in the future. In the end, Su Feng chose the illusion immunity trait as the first trait of the Uzumaki clan. Then he opened the development panel of Ninja Village and looked at it. He pointed at the void and went straight to the building panel. In an instant, he confirmed the first building. Ethnic Group Resurrection Crystal, Level 1. Do you choose to build? Chapter 11. Group Resurrection Crystal, Level 1. When a clansman is killed in battle, you can send the clansman's body to the Resurrection Crystal, and they will be resurrected after 3 minutes. You can revive multiple clansmen at once. Note: after the LV1 Resurrection Crystal revives the tribe, there is a cooldown period for the same tribe. If the tribe dies again within half a year, they cannot be resurrected. The higher the level of the resurrection crystal of the tribe, the shorter the resurrection cooling time. Order. This resurrection ability does not include the end of life. Please note that when the resurrection crystal reaches the full level, the longevity function will be available. Requirements: 500 family power points, and the next upgrade will cost 1000 family power points. The host can open the Ninja Village development panel for construction. The initial system task gave 1000 clan power points, which are free resources. When Su Feng opened the development panel, in an instant, a bird's eye view of the entire Uzumaki village appeared in front of him. In the upper right corner, Su Feng, as the Patriarch, can clearly have an intuitive understanding of the current strength of Uzumaki village. Host: Uzumaki Su Feng. Belonging to the ethnic group Uzumaki clan, state of turmoil. Ethnic faction: Eddie-Tide Village LV1. Ethnic population: 387. Group-specific buildings: 0. Clan power: 1000. With the movement of thoughts, when Su Feng's attention was placed on the LV1 of Whirlpool Village, there was a need to upgrade the level of Whirlpool Village instantly. And when he focused on the population of the ethnic group, the names of the members of the ethnic group appeared one after another, including their strength and character. There is no loyalty. The system just gave a reminder that after the initial mission is completed, all the Uzumaki clansmen in the entire Uzumaki village are 100% loyal to their patriarch. Of course, loyalty has nothing to do with character. They will not disobey the orders of the patriarch, but Su Feng still needs to subtly change their inner thoughts. Move to the exclusive building, and one buildable building after another reappears. Su Feng was overwhelmed with emotion as he looked at the job-changing temple, ethnic group totems, and guard barriers one by one. The Super God clan system is determined to create the strongest clan. At the same time, the strength of the patriarch is more critical. According to the system, no matter how the clan members get rewards in the building, he is the one who gets the most benefit. Continue to check. When Su Feng focused on the last clan force, his expression became a little serious. Whether it is to promote the Urbid Tide village or to build various buildings, it requires a huge clan power, which is the most important thing. Ways to obtain clan power: clan missions, money exchange. Group characters are divided into two categories. The first category is daily development tasks, and the second category is sudden special tasks. Under normal circumstances, the first type of daily development tasks will give a fixed 100 points of family strength and a few attribute points. If you continue to do it, the strength of the Uzumaki clan will be greatly improved, and there is a small probability that they will get special attributes. The second type of special tasks need to be triggered by certain events. Su Feng doesn't quite understand the specific rules yet, but he is not in a hurry, and he will encounter them in the future. Today's daily development task is very simple. Because of the invasion, the development task was changed to a rebuilding task named Comfort. Comfort just experienced turmoil, and now the Uzumaki clan is in panic. Under such circumstances, they cannot get the development task. Please ask the patriarch to appease the clan and stabilize people's hearts. Task reward: 100 points of family strength. In the turmoil mode, there are no other attribute rewards except the basic clan power rewards, so in this case, what the patriarch has to do is also very simple: to appease people's hearts as quickly as possible. How to do it? Su Feng has a good idea. Apart from daily tasks, Su Feng is more concerned about money exchange. After a glance, he understood. 1 to 100, 1 point of family power is equal to 100 taels of money. The currency circulation in the ninja world is calculated on the basis of taels, which was confirmed during the conversation between Naruto and Jiraiya when he was practicing. This too, there are banknotes and coins, and the exchange ratio is still reasonable. The things to do today seem to be simple and clear. Build a group resurrection crystal. Without any hesitation, Su Feng chose to build the resurrection crystal by spending 500 clan power points. Patriarch, now we should. Since killing those intruders and Konoha's allies, their patriarch has been hanging up. Uzumaki Ryuji is a little uncertain about the patriarch's thoughts. Under the encouraging eyes of the clansmen, he took 2 steps forward and called out tentatively. Collect the corpses of all the clansmen, don't leave any behind. Su Feng spoke slowly. Is the patriarch going to be cremated? Or buried? Habitually, more than half of the Uzumaki clan was killed or injured this time. If Su Feng hadn't appeared in time, it would only be a matter of time before the entire army was wiped out. Right now, burying the tribe is indeed what should be done. Buried? Who told you that I will be buried for my clansmen? Su Feng smiled slightly and stretched out his finger. Do you want to spend 500 family power points to build the resurrection crystal LV1? Yes. Boom. At that moment, at the position pointed by Su Feng, a ray of light descended from the sky. It was dazzling gold, shining like a god in the night sky. It takes 5 minutes to build. Please wait patiently, host. Time passed by every minute and every second. When a golden and sacred building appeared, the people of the tribe were only shocked. Patriarch, this is. Slowing down, Uzumaki Ryuji asked suspiciously. Moving the corpses of the tribe, the patriarch wants to resurrect them, so hurry up. Boom. In a word, the pupils of all the clansmen present shrank. and the clansmen who hadn't recovered from the shock gave themselves a slap in the face to wake them up. What did the Patriarch say? Resurrection people. Can the Patriarch do this kind of thing? Patriarch, you actually control the power of Tongtian. Uzumaki Ryuji trembled all over, and quickly directed his clansmen to start working. The Patriarch has no reason to deceive them, which means that what is happening now is true. But compared with words, practical actions are often the most shocking. In order to complete the task of soothing people ahead of time, Su Feng walked not far away, picked up a child who had died tragically under the enemy, and walked to the resurrection crystal. Come back, my people. At this time, as the Patriarch, it is appropriate to add some special effects to himself. Whispering, in an instant, the resurrection crystal shines golden. Accompanied by the gold light, the child slowly soared into the air, and then the golden light shone on the broken body. The original blood stains gradually disappeared, and the fatal wounds were also rapidly healing. When seeing this scene clearly, all the people of the Uzumaki clan were very excited. The Patriarch's words are not groundless, he actually has the means to revive the clansmen. This is extremely exciting news in a desperate situation. Soothing. In any language, there is no practical idiom to describe this kind of shock. Tonight, they lost their relatives, lovers, and even their own children. But it's not over yet. When a new round of sunshine shines on the earth, it means that new hope appears in their hearts. And this time the hope was given by their respected Patriarch. This represents the rebirth of the Uzumaki clan. At this moment, all the clansmen looked at their Patriarch reverently, and even many clansmen bowed down to Su Feng sincerely. That is their god. Such a method is comparable to Sage of Six Paths. Uzumaki Ryuji shed tears of excitement. The tribe is still there, no matter how destroyed Uzumaki village is, they can rebuild it. The Uzumaki family has a Uzumaki Su Feng. It is by no means a coincidence, it is the belief of the Uzumaki family from today onwards. A few minutes later, the child who was originally dead opened his eyes again. After being confused, he found his relatives and flew to their arms. Only when you lose can you know how to cherish. Silently witnessing this scene, Su Feng hooked his fingers at Long Er. The dialect of my hometown is very good, so I hurried over. This building is called the Resurrection Crystal, and it can be resurrected by transporting the corpses of the clansmen. The rest is up to you. After finishing, rest overnight, and then come to the forbidden area to find me. Having a reliable subordinate will always make your task a lot easier. From Su Feng's point of view, Uzumaki Ryuji's ideological consciousness has improved a lot after experiencing this invasion war. Although he is a bit old, it is still worth cultivating. Moreover, this guy is the former Patriarch and is familiar with the affairs of the clan. It was almost dawn, the clansmen needed to rest, and he also needed to make a plan for the next step. After arranging the task, he walked to the side, the source of the most fiery eyes looking at him. Uzumaki Kushina, the girl who woke him up. Now he looks about 5 or 6 years old. When the clansman doubted his ability, he could hear her cheering very clearly. Do you have a family? Squatting in front of the little girl, Su Feng spoke gently. The original book's description of Kushina's family relationship is rather vague. All she knew was that she lost everything when the clan was exterminated. But what was her original background, Su Feng didn't know. Uzumaki Kushina shook his head. Her parents had an accident a few years ago, and they were raised by the clan in the village. You are strong. Rubbing Kushina's little head, Su Feng stood up. Come with me, I need a messenger. Well done, you will be my man from now on. After finishing speaking, he only left the girl with a back view, and walked towards the forbidden area. His people. The meaning of this sentence is not understood by Kushina at the moment. The girl looked confused, but after a few seconds, she became determined and chased after her step by step. She only knows that the ancestor is very kind, she is willing to follow the ancestor, and the ancestor is the benefactor of the clan. Without the ancestor, the clan would not exist. The people in the village are all good people, the ancestor saved the people of the clan, and also saved her. She can't repay this kindness alone, the old ancestor says what, that's all. There is only one room in the forbidden area, which was originally built to worship him. Sitting on the futon in the main hall, he asked Kushina to find something to do by herself, and fell into his own thinking. A lot of things happen tonight. Su Feng needs to sort it out, formulate a development plan for the following clan, and there is also the issue of his own strength. He asked the system that the prison blood demon god he had awakened once could be promoted. But it seems that there are some prerequisites, that is, the establishment of a career transfer temple. However, in terms of strength, there is no rush for the time being. The hell blood demon god who has been awakened once is completely sufficient at this stage, but for the long-term future planning, he still has to think about it. After completing the initial mission, the future road plan is already clear. Acquire clan power, and then build clan-exclusive buildings. With exclusive buildings, strength is not a problem. The two conditions for obtaining clan power, the daily tasks must not be let go, needless to say. What Su Feng valued was the second way to gain clan power. 100-to-1 money exchange. Therefore, money is the foundation of everything. If you have money, you will have family power and strength. This is a very simple and rude cheat, but how to use it needs to be considered. In front of you, there are also two ways to get money. First, that is Ming Chang. Judging from Su Feng's current strength, robbery is not a big problem, but it will give the Uzumaki family a bad reputation. He is not afraid of offending people, but he will not stay in Uzumaki village all the time. When the enemy attacks aggressively, the clansmen will definitely not be able to withstand it. Therefore, you can grab it tomorrow, but you have to pinch the soft persimmon first. The first path is temporarily reserved. That is the second way. Squinting his eyes, Su Feng opened the building list. The task of soothing people's hearts has been completed. The previous 1000 clan power points cost 500, and the task gave 100. At this moment, he still has 600 clan power points to squander. As if thinking of something, the man smiled strangely. The second way, he knows how to go. And it works well, and by the way, it can also discuss the enemies of Uzumaki village. I don't know if it's an illusion, but Kushina, who is wiping the table over there, always feels that her respected patriarch has a little wretched smile in his smile. Well, I must be thinking too much. The little girl clenched her fist secretly. How could the ancestor be wretched? Moreover, what's wrong with the patriarch being so obscene? But she secretly hated why she couldn't grow up quickly. The initial building requirements are the same, 500 clan strength. To upgrade again, you need 1000 points. And when the building is upgraded to the full level, special functions will be unlocked. For example, the Resurrection Crystal. The full level of the Resurrection Crystal will unlock the longevity function. Longevity is not immortality, but according to the system, it seems that to upgrade longevity to immortality, you only need to complete a task to promote a building. But in a short period of time, the level 1 Resurrection Crystal is completely enough. Now, Su Feng needs a lot of money. Robbery is on the one hand, and on the other hand, you need to use your brains. For example, the present period. This is the Second Ninja World War. Rain Shinobi Village, Konoha, Sand Shinobi Village, and Iwagakure are all stalemate in the Rain Country battlefield. This kind of war with constant small-scale conflicts is a war of attrition, and it is also about the heritage of each ninja village. In other words, they need weaponry. So the second way, he, Su Feng, planned to make a fortune from the war. Especially when he saw a certain building in the building list, he understood this idea more thoroughly. Arsenal Level 1 used to craft weapons and equipment. Production list. Fine iron kunai, fine iron shuriken, high quality detonating charm, one-time ninjutsu scroll. Fine iron kunai. Fine kunai is also a high quality product, its sharpness is far better than that of Ninja World Common Kunai. Excellent. Refined iron shuriken. Excellent shuriken. With excellent hand feeling and strong piercing power, it can instantly kill the common shuriken in the ninja world. High quality detonating talisman. Explosion range. Explosive power is equivalent to 3 times that of common detonating talisman. Disposable ninjutsu scroll. The C-level ninjutsu of various attributes released by the Inner Seal Elite Genin can be activated with just a little chakra. It is an essential weapon for robbing houses. The daily production quantity of the armory. Kunai 30, Shuriken 30, high quality detonator 10, one-time ninjutsu scroll 5. The production quantity is increased by increasing the level of the arsenal. Another, when the arsenal is upgraded to full level, you can create exclusive magic armor for the Uzumaki clan. Note: if this equipment is equipped in the hands of the enemy, it will not cause malicious damage to the Uzumaki clan. Seeing the last item, Su Feng suddenly smiled. He seemed to see a lot of money falling into his pocket. And the most important point is that even if the weapons and equipment he produces are extremely lethal, if others want to use them against him, it won't work. Enemies cannot cause malicious damage to their own side. This is the characteristic of the arsenal, and there is no delay in training or anything. Very nice. Money, here it comes. Money is the foundation of development. This is Su Feng's idea of exchanging money for clan power and then promoting the clan. As for who to sell the weapons and equipment to, he thought about it in a flash. In the entire battlefield of the Land of Rain, which side needs equipment the most? That is naturally the Rain Shinobi village led by the demigod Hanzo of the Salamander. The Land of Rain is poor, but Hanzo, who has ruled Rain Shinobi village for many years, seems to be quite rich, otherwise he would not have the right to take the initiative to declare war on Konoha, Sand Shinobi village, and Iwagakure. He has confidence, but he must be extremely short in supplies. After all, how big is the Land of Rain? The 3 major ninja villages have blocked the route from Rain Shinobi village to the outside world. Hanzo has no supplies, and he is the most in need of supplies. And that's just one of the reasons why Su Feng chose Rain Shinobi village as his partner. The second point is to balance the forces between Rain Shinobi village and the other 3 major ninja villages. There is a characteristic of making war money, that is, the longer the war is fought, the more he earns. Just do what you say, everything will be easy to handle if you have a direction. Click on the overlooking map of Whirlpool Village. Su Feng chooses a suitable location and flicks his finger. Do you want to spend 500 clan power to build clan arsenal LV1? Yes. Suddenly, another ray of gold light hit the earth from the night sky. Not long after, a factory building full of mystery and creaking sound began its operation. The miracle reappears. The companions who were still carrying the corpses of the clansmen and were preparing to resurrect them raised their heads and looked over. Then he knelt down devoutly to the ground. They already understood that this strange building was summoned by the Patriarch using Tongtian means. At this moment, they have fully understood the strength of Uzumaki Su Feng. Dawn came, but the clansmen did not feel tired from working all night. Relatives are still being resurrected. They enjoyed the process, and at the same time had great admiration for the new Patriarch, Uzumaki Su Feng. Uzushio village is caught up in rebuilding efforts. At the same time, the Kingdom of Fire, Konoha. Inside Hokage's office, Sarutobi Hiruzen was carrying a pipe, smoking his bong one after another. And Danzo behind him, with a little disgust in his eyes, wanted to cover his nose but felt inappropriate, so he could only endure it secretly. They are waiting for news. Waiting for the latest battle situation in the Vortex country. In fact, when the crisis in Uzumaki village was resolved, the duo was full of words. Although they did not participate in the attack on Uzumaki's ultimate move tonight, they also feel that there will be no Uzumaki in the ninja world after today. But the plan couldn't keep up with the changes, and the first plan failed completely. They are awaiting the results of the second option. But until dawn, the team sent by Danzo still didn't send any news back. This made them a little uneasy. Silence is the only atmosphere in Hokage's office. Uzumaki clan, Uzumaki village. That was Konoha's nominal ally after first generation established Konoha. Whatever happens in that village will affect Konoha a little bit. What's more, Uzumaki Mito, the wife of their first Hokage, is still in Konoha village. They need to control the news of Uzumaki village. But, this wait is a whole day. When the new news came back, the above content made the two of them fall into deep thought. That's the news that the newly dispatched Anbu team found out. The Uzumaki village is still alive, and from a distance, they didn't feel that the number of people in the Uzumaki village has decreased much. Even a certain Hyuga tribe with white eyes found that the Uzumaki tribe had a smile on their faces. Naughty smile. Good boy, you Uzumaki were almost wiped out, can you laugh at this? The third generation didn't understand, and neither did Danzo. What Danzo didn't understand was that all the route teams he sent out lost contact. Yes, last night, the route team sent news that it seemed that a master appeared in the Uzumaki clan. The master overturned the war situation in the entire Uzumaki village with lightning speed, and directly brought back the Uzumaki clan on the road to perdition. Danzo and third generation, after discussing, issued an order to enter Uzumaki village to investigate the latest information on the grounds of reinforcements. But let them down. They have no way of knowing who that expert is, and they also don't know exactly how many members the Uzumaki village has lost. Not to mention, did Uzushio village agree to Konoha and come to the land of fire to be protected by Konoha? When the news came to nothing, Sarutobi took a strong puff on the bong, his lungs were full, and he looked a little melancholy. It's okay, nothing will go wrong with Jinchuriki. Danzo was silent for a while, then spoke calmly. Judging from the relationship between Uzumaki and Konoha, Uzumaki Mito is only needed to come forward at that time. No, it is enough to send Tsunade to get it. A pick for Jinchuriki. Konoha also prepared two plans. First, take advantage of the time of genocide. This path obviously does not work, so only the second point remains. You just need to be cheeky and ask for it directly. Anyway, Sarutobi has long since given up on the shameless thing. Yes, Konoha received the news, but did not provide support, but didn't they use the support team to supplement it later? Konoha doesn't have any extra troops, so as allies, you have to understand. Moreover, Uzumaki Mito's face, the Uzumaki family still has to give it. Of course, the reason why they were indifferent to Uzumaki's attack was due to their own considerations. The Uzumaki family is powerful, and the sealing power that can seal the tailed beast alone is a unique existence in the ninja world. Each of them is a perfect Jinchuriki. Having a Jinchuriki of the Uzumaki family is to tell other ninja villages that we have stronger cards than you. However, this is just their own understanding. At this stage, they don't know that the truly perfect Jinchuriki is recognized by the tailed beast, rather than blindly suppressed and sealed. Konoha just didn't want to give up Precious's resources to others. They regard the exclusive Jinchuriki of the Uzumaki clan as the standard equipment of their ninja village. If you can't get it completely, just keep one seed and destroy the rest. This is the real reason for the Uzumaki family's demise. Today, Uzumaki still exists. But judging from the friendship between the two ninja villages, it is not a big problem to ask for a clansman. You're thinking very well. Sarutobi gave Danzo a cold look. Otherwise, this fellow has always been the one suppressed by him. No matter how hard Danzo tried, he still couldn't get Hokage's position. He knows his right-hand man too well. When Danzo thinks about a problem, he can only analyze one aspect, but he is obviously more resourceful. It's no wonder that Danzo has been used by Sarutobi for many years. Yesterday Uzumaki actually sent out the news of asking for help, and we, Konoha, only sent a team symbolically. It's not even a dispatch at all, it's just trying to snatch a member of the Uzumaki clan. Because of this, the friendship between the two ninja villages is a little delicate now. After a pause, Sarutobi returned to his chair and sat down. Second point, the strong man of the Uzumaki clan, did he capture the enemy who invaded Uzumaki village as a prisoner? If that person said something unfavorable to Konoha, how do we choose? Third generation looked deeply, and finally waved his hand to signal Danzo to go down. Now, all they can do is wait for the latest news. And what happened to the Uzumaki clan is not the point. The focus is from the land of rain. Since the third generation came to power, it has been lacking in combat achievements. He needed a victory for Konoha, that was his main. For this, third generation is eager. Ninja world. Not just Konoha. Cloud Shinobi Village and Kurigakure also did not receive news of victory. This made the atmosphere of the entire ninja world a bit delicate. But the Uzumaki village at the center of the event. At this moment, it is still in the process of fiery reconstruction, and the atmosphere is quite harmonious and comfortable. Uzumaki Ryuji, who had worked hard all day and night, came to the forbidden area of the Yi clan, and half kneeled to salute Uzumaki Su Feng. He did not forget Su Feng's order. After arranging everything, the Patriarch has new instructions. Did the account come? Let Uzumaki stand up casually, Su Feng asked. Brought it, please take a look at the Patriarch. Long took 2 steps forward respectfully, and handed over the ledger in his hand. This is an overview of all the wealth in Uzumaki village. Including how much money, how many weapons and equipment, and the ninjutsu items in the record. This thing belongs to the custody of the Patriarch. Su Feng needs money in exchange for clan power to develop the clan. It is necessary to integrate the property of Uzushio village. But what made the corner of his mouth twitch was that he could tell how poor the entire Uzumaki village was just by looking at it. Although the technology tree of the ninja world has always been a mystery, he can be sure that the current Uzushio village is definitely in the farming era. Self-sufficient, occasionally dispatching clansmen to do entrusted tasks, the performance is quite Buddhist. So when he saw that there was only 60,000 taels in the accounts, his eyebrows twitched violently. Only this little money. It shouldn't be. Although the country of Uzumaki is not as rich as the 5 major countries, it is still a country near the sea. How about the support given by the daimyo of Uzumaki to the development of Ninja Village? This is what Su Feng was puzzled about. The 5 major countries, even the poorest country of the wind, gave Sand Shinobi Village hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars for the development of military power. No matter how poor his vortex country is, the amount he has accumulated over the years should not be this amount. Su Feng also hoped to rely on the money from Uzumaki village to build a few more exclusive buildings for ethnic groups. Ah, that's right, Lord Patriarch. Long thought for a while, organized a vocabulary and quickly explained. My Uzushio village and Konoha, used to be in alliance. Outsiders are always a bit jealous of Uzushio village, so there are very few attacks against Uzushio country. There is no war in the country, and there are not many opportunities for our Uzumaki village to dispatch, so. He didn't say anything later. But Su Feng can also understand. No wars, very few invasions. So the daimyo of Uzumaki simply refused to give money to develop Ninja Village. Probably, that's what it means. Su Feng looked gloomy, with a cold light in his eyes, looked at Long unkindly and said nothing. In his opinion, these are bullshit. Unless the daimyo of Uzumaki is an idiot, he has found other asylums. For example, paying protection fees to Konoha without permission. For a moment, he thought of this. Otherwise, can the kingdom of Vortex not be invaded for so many years? No wonder Konoha knew how the defense of Uzushio village was in Uzumaki country. I'm afraid that after so many years, the entire country of the Vortex may have been infiltrated by the country of fire. This is speculation, but not groundless speculation. Things you know when you think about it carefully. The daimyo does not give money, and Ushio village yearns for peace, and there have been no armed disputes for decades. The country of the Vortex is safe and sound, which itself is the problem. After pondering for a moment, he waved to Uzumaki Ryuji. Take someone and go to the daming mansion of the Uzumaki country to do something. Work. Uzumaki Ryuji's expression changed. From today onwards, Uzushio village will charge 90% of the taxes collected by the daimyo of Uzumaki country. Su Feng spoke slowly. For a split second, Uzumaki Ryuji was dumbfounded. It's the Patriarch. It's not that the subordinates won't go, it's just that this mission is a bit. For decades, Uzumaki village hasn't asked the daimyo for money, and 90% of the tax is charged as soon as they ask. This daimyo probably won't be obedient. Long lowered his head, seeming a little distressed. Disobedient. If you don't listen, you won't kill him. Su Feng looked indifferent, as if he was talking about an insignificant matter. Long was dumbfounded again. But Su Feng didn't finish what he said, and immediately added another sentence. After slaughtering, change to an obedient daimyo, and by the way, rob me of the money saved by the previous daimyo over the years. Lead the team with you, bring the strongest team in the clan. Slowing down, he looked directly into Uzumaki Ryuji's eyes. If this matter can't be done well, in the future, you don't need to call yourself the Uzumaki family. As early as last night, Su Feng made a strategy. There are 2 paths, and he wants to do both. He wants to rob money and make war fortune. The first one to be robbed was the daimyo of Uzumaki country. Originally, he planned to talk and discuss, but when he learned that the Uzumaki country had seldom supported the Uzumaki village for decades, but the Uzumaki country was safe and sound, he changed his mind. He doesn't need a disobedient name. The strong give shelter to the weak, and the weak should pay protection fees. This is the truth. Also, keep an eye on me secretly. If that daimyo exploits the people of the Vortex Kingdom in the name of raising taxes later on, he will also be killed. Giving him 10% of the tax as a face for him. No, don't blame me for being rude to the Uzumaki clan. Walking out of the forbidden room, Uzumaki Ryuji felt a little heavy. The patriarch is serious, there is no joke in it. He wants to take his name to the knife. But in the ninja world, there has never been such a precedent. Taking a deep breath, a murderous look appeared in Uzumaki's eyes. This is the first major task assigned to him by the patriarch. After last night, he has already decided that even if he goes up the mountain of swords and goes down into the sea of fire, he will never refuse. My Uzumaki family, what's wrong with my name? It's a bit embarrassing for this matter to get out, but my face, Uzumaki, is not given by others, but earned by myself. For a split second, Uzumaki Ryuji brainwashed himself. Just do it. Like the patriarch said, the daimyo is disobedient. Then kill it, and go up with another obedient one. Uzumaki Ryuji is gone. Su Feng is not very worried about his mission this time. According to his guess, the country of Uzumaki is estimated to have become a subsidiary of the country of fire, and the daimyo of Uzumaki country will also have existences similar to Guardian Ninja. Therefore, he asked Uzumaki Ryuji to take the most elite team of the clan. If you don't obey the discipline and don't obey, you will be killed directly. This time, there is no negotiating. He has already passed the customs, and the moment he made the decision, he was ready to make the Uzumaki family a strong family from the inside out. He wants to restore the Uzumaki clan who were not afraid of death and war during the Sengoku period. Moreover, in this period, just after a major war, the interior of Uzumaki country is still very safe, and all ninja villages are waiting for news and will not take the initiative to attack. Last night, Kurigakure and Cloud Shinobi village didn't lose many people, but most of them were elite. After killing so many elites by him, it will take a while for Kurigakure and Cloud Shinobi village to recover. So he is not worried. However, the security issue within the village must be put on the agenda. Su Feng will not stay in Uzumaki village all the time, there are some things that only he can do in person. Glancing at the exclusive building for the ethnic group, Su Feng understood, and directly exchanged the banknotes left by Uzumaki Ryuji. After leaving a little change, and converting all the remaining money into clan power, his system panel had an extra 600 points of clan power, including the remaining 100 points from the construction of the arsenal, a total of 700 points. Uzumaki's exclusive shopping mall has not yet been built, so the 100.200 points of wealth cannot be spent for the time being, so he directly aimed at another building. To say it is a building is better to say it is a branch of the guarding force. Guard Barrier LV1. This barrier can cover the entire Uzumaki village, and the host as the patriarch will get the reaction immediately when attacked. Function. After the enchantment is opened, it will isolate the enemy and ignore the genin level attack. It can last for 3 hours in hundreds of chunin attacks, block dozens of jonin attacks for 1 hour, cage level strong for half an hour, surpassing cage 10 minutes for those who are strong at level, and 1 minute for those who are strong at 6 paths level. After the time limit expires, the barrier will be shattered. After breaking, the barrier will explode, and its power is equivalent to a desperate blow by a cage-level strongman. Tips. After the enchantment is broken, it enters the cooling period, and it can be opened after injecting 100 family power for 1 hour. The cooling period, barrier toughness, and blasting strength will increase with the level of the barrier. When the level of the barrier reaches the full level, the staged invincible effect will be activated promoted by the task. Guardian Enchantment. This is a good thing. Opened after Su Feng left Whirlpool Village, enough to protect Whirlpool Village. However, the level 1 guard enchantment is still almost meaningless, but overall it is not bad. After all, in this time period, not to mention the 6 paths level, there is probably no super shadow except for Madara who is desperately attacking. In addition to the guarding barrier, another offensive guarding force was also targeted by Su Feng. Chakra Arrow Tower LV1. After reloading the shuriken, it can automatically attack the invading enemy, and the selection range of the enemy is set by the host. Description. It is silent, extremely fast, and hard to guard against. After every 10 shots, it enters the charge up strike stage, and the charge up strike comes with random chakra attribute range damage. Tips. The arrow tower needs to be filled with shurikens. The LV-1 arrow tower will enter an overheated state after firing 100 shurikens. The next level of arrow towers can be manually controlled to inject chakra and release chakra shurikens. The overheat period and number of shots are determined by the turret level. When the level of the arrow tower reaches the full level, it can be bound to the tailed beast, regularly absorbing the tailed beast chakra to refine it, and evolve into a tailed beast spiral cannon. It's a bit awesome. Su Feng was silent for a while. Just the level 1 feature of being silent and extremely fast made him excited enough. This is the ninja world. Except for Raikage, the physical guy, everyone's body is as fragile as a piece of paper. Cage level, can die in the hands of kunai. Super shadow, such as Senju Hashirama, after being fought by Madara, he can die of illness. The 6 paths level is a bit difficult, but at this stage there is no strong 6 paths level. Therefore, this chakra arrow tower is completely a big killer, and there is nothing wrong with building more. Of course, in addition to these 2 guarding forces, one's own strength is also extremely critical. Job transfer temple, he can gain strength there, not only the clansman, but also himself. These all need to be on the agenda. He clicked on the protective barrier to start building, ignoring the gold light falling from the sky. Su Feng began to settle accounts. Judging from the attack range of the arrow towers, if you want to turn the surrounding area of Uzumaki village into a safe area, you need at least 8. Together with the transfer temple, there are a total of 9 basic buildings. Each basic building requires 500 points of family strength, and 9 is 4,500 points of family strength. Now there are 200 points left in my hand, which means 4,300 family power points are needed. Converted into currency, it would be 400,000 taels. Squinting his eyes, Su Feng was not sure if the Daming Mansion had so much money, so he simply let Long snatch it up first. However, if this is the case, his war business must be put on the agenda. In a few days, when there are more survivors in the arsenal, he will set off for Rain Shinobi village. This demigod will be taken for granted. I don't know what Konoha's people will be like when they are blown up by high-quality detonating symbols. Thinking about Sarutobi Hiruzen's constipated dog face in the future, Su Feng smiled slightly. According to the timeline, it's almost time for Danzo to go to the battlefield to take over the command of White Fang, right? Stealing battle exploits, pitting Senju. Tisk. Please accept this gift, Lord 3rd Generation. Uzumaki Ryuji did not disappoint Su Feng after all. After he gave the death order, he also gave the daimyo a death order. Master Patriarch, it's as you expected. At night, Uzumaki Ryuji, who came back with someone, said in admiration. If I just go by myself, I'm afraid I won't be able to come back. The so-called guardian ninjas do exist. There are not many of them, but their strength is not bad. Simply, no clansmen were killed in this mission. Even if there is a resurrection crystal, sometimes it is necessary to be cautious. After thinking about it, he asked his clansmen to bring in a few boxes. At first, the daimyo of Uzumaki country was extremely surprised by our visit. Even after hearing our intentions, he refused to see us. Speaking of this, Long-Er's eyes were full of anger. Anyway, their Uzushio village is also the force of the Uzumaki country. People from Ninja Village went to visit, but the daimyo disappeared. What a system this is. So we killed those guardian ninjas on the spot according to your instructions. Kong Kong wiped his own neck, and Long-Er said murderously. This is explained in advance. If the other party's attitude is tough, kill them directly. Having experienced the baptism of the invasion war, they also have a lot of blood on their bodies, and they do it as soon as they say it, without any ink stains. Afterwards, the daimyo was considered honest, and he was directly persuaded. We emptied the Daming Mansion overnight. We moved all that could be moved, and sold those that couldn't be moved. After the integration, about 200,000 taels are here. At this point, Uzumaki Ryuji also noticed something was wrong. That is the daimyo of the Vortex country, and the working capital of the Daming Mansion is only a mere 200,000 yuan. I am afraid that no one will believe it. But that's what it is. As you expected, he did give Konoha the fee that should support the development of Uzushio village. This has been proved by the guardian ninja. With a slight sigh, Uzumaki felt a little depressed in his heart. Their good ally. Not only did he stab a knife in the back, but he also squeezed out all the interests that originally belonged to Uzumaki village. Is this really what allies should do? It's ridiculous that if it wasn't for Uzumaki Sufeng, the Uzumaki clan would not understand the whole thing until they were wiped out. Thinking back to when Senju and Uzumaki formed an alliance, who could have reached this point? Maybe Senju is innocent, but Konoha, definitely not. Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen, the so-called ninja, is obviously not as simple and honest as he looks. Only 200,000. Glancing at the boxes, the daimyo didn't change the coins into banknotes, and probably kept them as his personal belongings for his own viewing. Su Feng didn't care about this, and waved his hand at Long Er. The Vortex country is not that poor. When the next quarter's tax comes up, 90% of the money will be ours. Before, most of the money in the country of Vortex fell into the pockets of the country of Fire, and it was the Vortex village who digested this money in the future. This time, Konoha suffered a dumb loss. Their guardian ninja died as well. After all, it was their fault to occupy the interests of other people's ninja village. Uzumaki Ryuji seemed to be a little smug. Don't think it's so good. Su Feng said calmly, it's not a skill to snatch a profit once, but it's a real skill to hold on to the long stream of water in the future. The tax revenue of the Vortex country is not a small amount. When Konoha reacts, there will be some measures. Uzumaki Ryuji didn't understand. In the entire ninja world, everyone knows that Uzushio village is directly under Uzumaki ninja village. What does the internal affairs of other countries have to do with your Konoha? For example, we get 90% of the benefits when we open our mouth. The Daming mansion was evacuated today. You are a daimyo, what will you do? Pretend to be soft first, then secretly contact Konoha and wait for the opportunity. We are exposing the behavior of Uzumaki village and attracting the attention of daimyos from other countries. At that time, Uzuokao village will be the one who will be denounced. Occupying the name of Daya, even if they openly lead people into the country of Uzumaki, stationed here in the name of protecting Daimon, that is the nail against our Uzumaki village. In a few words, Uzumaki Su Feng thoroughly thought about the impact of today's events. He even told Long Er face to face what might happen next. Such a strategy made Uzumaki Ryuji stand in awe. But now he is not so flustered. Since the Patriarch mentioned the possibility, it means that he has already made a new decision. We just need to do one thing. That is to wait. When that day comes, it will be the time when we completely control the country of the Vortex. As a matter of fact, the daimyo of this generation of Uzumaki country is 100% sure to be killed. He spared the opponent's life, which was a clear move. Su Feng is to make the daimyo of Uzushio village and the ninjas who will occupy the daimyo in the future work together. As for why, very simple. Uzumaki village needs a victory to defend dignity. Use your own fists to tell everyone that Uzumaki village will handle Uzushio's own affairs. Otherwise, even if you change your name, people will use various methods to target such matters related to interests in the future. Certainly, this so-called war to defend dignity has nothing to do with the real war. Since it is to occupy the righteousness and protect the name, neither Konoha nor other ninja villages will send too many people over. And using them to train soldiers and improve the strength of the clansmen in Uzumaki village is Su Feng's real goal. From this point of view, there is only one fastest way to improve strength. Opening the panel, Su Feng pointed at the sky, and exchanged all the money into clan power. Immediately afterwards, the man smiled and let out a low cry. Build, job transfer temple. Laozi wants to create a unique, blood escape, ninja army. The money robbed from the daimyo of Uzumaki was less than expected. But this did not delay Su Feng's plan. In a blink of an eye, the job transfer temple has been built. I exchanged 200,000 taels of currency, plus the original 200 points, a total of 2,200 clan power points. After deducting the 500 points required for the job transfer temple, there are still 1,700 points left, and only 3 arrow towers can be built. One is placed in the arsenal, the other is placed in the resurrection crystal, and the last one is placed next to the job transfer temple that was just established. This is the only arrangement in the short term. When the number of arrow towers increases in the later period, use the Patriarch's authority to move the location of the arrow towers. The system is very convenient to use, which gives Su Feng an experience of playing games in his previous life. After squandering his family power, he swept towards the Job Transfer Temple that had just been built. Job Transfer Temple LV1 Uzumaki Clan's exclusive Job Transfer Hall, which can cultivate the development direction of clan members. Function. For the time being, only the career transfer obtained by the host is available. 1. Transform the ninja. 2. Crazy warrior. There are 2 general directions, but they can be cultivated at the same time. After all, this is the ninja world. When the ninja clansmen go to the Job Transfer Hall, they will be transformed into a job with the same abilities as a ninja and a mad warrior. Note: LV1 transfers to the temple, only 3 clan members can be transferred at the same time at a time, and it takes 1 day. Reminder: after the genin under the host is transferred, the chakra system will be used to integrate the warrior system, and it will become a LV15 fusion warrior. After the transfer, the fusion warrior can complete the daily missions issued by the transfer temple to gain experience or make breakthroughs in battle. There are also host strength promotion tasks, basic tasks and trigger tasks, as well as the most special achievement tasks in the transfer temple, please observe by the host. You can also enable the authority of the Patriarch, and store the ninjutsu sealing technique transformed by yourself in the transfer temple for the clan to learn. Another. The transformation speed of the job-changing temple increases with the level of the building, and the task rewards are the same. When the job-changing temple reaches the full level, the job characteristics will be opened. Special reminder: the detection of the host is currently an awakening of prison blood demon god. If your genin is transferred, the level limit is half of your level. In front, Su Feng looked very satisfied. But the special reminder at the end made him frown suddenly. System, what does the last one mean? There is also a level cap. Could it be that even if my level is raised to LV100, my clansmen will only be in a state of LV50 at most? This is obviously not what he wants. When the transfer temple appeared, the picture in his mind was like this. He is a red dog, followed by countless red dogs, 1 person and 1 big dog rushing towards the enemy, and he finds the scene of hundreds of big dogs rushing forward together to be quite interesting. Ding. Master Host does not have a level cap. The system answered very simply. No level cap. Su Feng was stunned for a moment. After LV100, there are no powerful skills. What's the use of just leveling up? It seems to see the doubts from the host, and the system continues to answer patiently. This is not the continent of Arad, and you are not playing DNF. Naturally, there is no level cap. And when your strength breaks through the shackles, it will directly enhance your skill strength. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're big dog. If you break through the LV100 level, your big dog will be bigger than any big dog of your clan. For another example, with Common's professional skill crosscut, it's not a problem for your crosscut to cover 100 meters. In addition, your demon prison blood break, if your level is high enough, what you carry behind you is not a 2-meter long sword, but a 200-meter long sword, or you can divide the 200-meter long sword into 1 piece according to your ideas. Hundreds of 2-meter long swords, when the time comes, whether you plan to fly with the sword or play with flowers depends on your mood. Now Su Feng understood completely. The so-called upper limit of the level does not exist for him at all, and when the level reaches LV100 or above, it is the moment when he is crazy about pretending. Su Feng fell into deep thought, and thought for a while whether it was the 200-meter demon prison blood break who was forcing Gegao, or a group of demon prison blood break who moved after him. Well, I will think about this question later. After all, according to the level now, he is only LV50. It's just a waste that just awakened for the first time. Rolling his eyes, Su Feng stood up. The purpose is clear. The next thing to do is also simple and clear. On the job transfer temple side, we need to make some arrangements. In addition to the job transfer task of the clansman, there is also the issue of his own strength promotion. And according to the reminder, there are some sealing techniques that he has improved, which can be directly stored in the transfer temple. This saves him from teaching. Well, for example, adamantine sealing chains, sword and shield onslaught. With a flick of the hand, the gold chain stretched out from the body, and then wrapped around Su Feng's entire left arm, while the right arm only wrapped around his arm, and then the gold chain in the right hand continued to extend. After a few seconds, the chain on the right arm stabilized, and a blunt sword entwined by adamantine sealing chains suddenly appeared. The dense chains wrapped around the left arm serve as a shield, while the right hand turns into a sharp blade. This is the real fighting mode of his Uzumaki Su Feng. You know, the chain-tailed beasts of adamantine sealing chains can control them, so how can ordinary weapons break them? This is the age of Sengoku, relying on his tyrannical chakra. Even without cheats, he can play tricks. Handsome. As expected of the Patriarch. Uzumaki Ryuji looked enviously, and adamantine sealing chains, he would do it too, but just simply controlling the chains, he had already lost his energy. Is this the difference between people? Want to learn? With raised eyebrows, Su Feng looked at Long Er. Long Er nodded frantically. This trick looks very domineering, whether it's pretending or beating. Come with me, I will teach you. Leaving the forbidden area in great strides, the two walked towards the job transfer temple. I heard that the Patriarch is selecting candidates to help the clan awaken the blood escape in Legendary. Really, Shuiden is really the limit of the blood successor of my Uzumaki clan. It should be. Don't forget the method that the ancestor used to kill the enemy that day. I don't know anyone who has such an honor. Blood escape, this is the limit of blood succession that has never appeared in ninja history. But at this moment, the members of the Uzumaki clan have no doubts about the strength of Shuiden. Manipulating blood energy, violent and abnormal. This world respects the strong. After the invasion war, the people's thinking has slowly begun to change. Originally, they thought that if I didn't offend people, people wouldn't offend me. But when the allies betrayed and the enemies who feared the abilities of the Uzumaki clan attacked aggressively, they found that the world was not as simple as they thought. And that seemingly bloody and cruel Shuiden, if someone can awaken now, it will even make other clansmen feel envious. Slowly, a lot of clansmen gathered around the job transfer temple in Uzumaki village. Su Feng stood at the front, discussing something with Long Er. Just now Uzumaki Su Feng has entered the transfer temple to check it out. Different from other buildings, the job-changing temple does not appear to be very large from the outside, but the inside is unique and can accommodate quite a few people. And the internal learning skills section is also very convenient. As the Patriarch, he has already saved all his improved sealing techniques on the ninja classification. It takes time for the people of the tribe to comprehend. The comprehension is different, and the time to comprehend it will be fast or slow, but in the end they will definitely succeed in learning. However, when professional skills are digitalized, the completion of learning needs to be enhanced through proficiency. Completing daily training tasks will increase your proficiency. Su Feng also has his own exclusive training tasks. The content of the task is very simple: chopping and swinging the sword, and accumulating a certain number of times, his level will increase. There are no special tasks for the time being. Maybe the level of the transfer temple is too low, and better benefits have not been unlocked yet. 3 clansmen can be awakened every day, and this is the only way at this stage. In addition to the blood escape, there is also the sealing technique of the Uzumaki family that I studied during the Sengoku period. You can learn all of them here. However, before we begin, I have a few words to say. Taking a deep breath, Su Feng turned around and looked down at the clansmen whose eyes were full of hope. Clan members, you must be aware of the strength of Shuiden. There is no doubt, the blood escape I use is the exclusive blood successor boundary of our Uzumaki clan. A guess is always a guess. When the exact answer came from Uzumaki Su Feng, the Uzumaki people in Uzumaki village were extremely excited. God have mercy on me, big Uzumaki. No, not God. Everything in Uzumaki village was bestowed by the Patriarch. Unpredictable means of resurrection, strange-looking chakra arrow tower, strange arsenal. And the powerful enchantment that envelops Uzumaki village. All of this was brought by the Patriarch. Don't get excited, wait until I finish talking. Su Feng waved his hand lightly, and immediately after, his body was enveloped by a thick blood energy. Blood rage. When the violent aura swept in all directions, the surprise in the eyes of the clansmen flashed, followed by curiosity about the power. However, more emotions are a little nervous. This was the first time for them to observe the power of blood at close range, and the shock from the heart made them all silence. Everyone has also seen that the so-called blood escape is to rely on the power of one's own blood to release a powerful secret technique. At the same time, we will gain the ability to control the blood in the enemy's body. Among the many blood succession boundaries, without any exception, we will be classified as users of evil power. Yes, this is what Su Feng wants to tell the clansmen. Below, the clansmen looked solemn. At this moment, what did they think of? Clan people, I just ask you one question. Even the Uchiha mental illness that is indirectly onset will be called an evil force. What about our fighting method of manipulating blood? How will those hypocrites evaluate it? Gain power, I can help you transform physically, but if you want to carry this power, are your heart strong enough? If you want to wear a crown, you must bear its weight. When the new fighting style of the Uzumaki clan appears in the ninja world, verbal criticism is inevitable. Hold the spray in the spray, and you will be the master. People who have this kind of awareness, come in and find me. With a big wave of his hand, Su Feng walked into the job transfer temple, and the clansmen behind him looked at each other in dismay, and he was too lazy to continue brainwashing the clansmen. In fact, the so-called holding the spray in the spray is all because of him to scare people. But consciousness really cannot be less. Just kidding, power is power, how can there be justice and evil? At that time, someone in the ninja world will criticize Uzumaki. Just kill it. If they kill more, those wastes will naturally be afraid. Old ancestor, I am not afraid of others saying that my Uzumaki power is evil. Please help me awaken Shuiden. At this moment, a petite figure followed closely behind, and came to Su Feng with extremely firm eyes. Uzumaki Kushina was half kneeling on the ground with a calm tone. What does it matter to her whether she is right or wrong? She only knows that this power can help the ancestor in the future. All she knew was that she no longer wanted to see her clansmen being slaughtered and she was helpless. She just wants to give her everything to her ancestors in the future, even if it has a little effect. Is the first Kushina? Su Feng nodded. It can be seen from the original book that this is a very strong girl. Even if Uzumaki was destroyed, she did not give up hope for the future, and her heart was full of sunshine. She is the one who awakens herself, and the first to see her own power. Now, it is reasonable for her to be the first to stand up and accept the baptism of blood escape. Pulling Kushina up from the ground, Su Feng showed a gentle smile, and he didn't say any words of encouragement. In fact, words of encouragement are superfluous when a person has already accomplished something with awareness. All Su Feng has to do is to trust her. Two people came in again from the transfer temple. Uzumaki Ryuji made up his mind without much struggle. He was the previous patriarch, and now he is Su Feng's direct subordinate, so he must lead by example. As for the impact of the exposure of Shuiden's power in the future, it doesn't matter. The daimyo said he would kill them all. How the outside world evaluates Uzumaki is something that the patriarch should consider. As a subordinate, what he has to do is to be 100% loyal to the patriarch, do whatever the patriarch tells him to do, and not doubt the decision of the patriarch. Gradually, many tribesmen walked into the transfer temple. What Su Feng said before had more or less influence. After the psychological construction was completed, Su Feng began to determine the number of people who would transfer jobs on the first day. Kushina, Ryuji, and a young man he picked, named Uzumaki Chinglin. He is one of the few elite jonin of the younger generation of the Uzumaki clan. He killed a lot of enemies during the invasion war. This transfer is affirmative for him. It took a whole day to change jobs, and after sending the three of them to the halo of the central position, Su Feng turned and left. Everything in Uzumaki village is going on in an orderly manner. After the job transfer, the strength of the clan members will increase exponentially, and the clan will enter a stage of rapid development. The arsenal needs time to accumulate the inventory of weapons and equipment. Su Feng plans to leave for the land of rain in a few days. And just when the Uzumaki clan began to metamorphose. In the ninja world, the atmosphere in the two ninja villages that did not participate in the second ninja war for the time being seemed a bit depressing. Kurigakure, inside 3rd Mizukage's office, looking at the information on the table, his squinted eyes suddenly opened. Impossible. I, Kurigakure, recharged my batteries and didn't participate in the second ninja world war. I sent out so many main forces, and didn't win even a small Uzushio village. 3rd Mizukage obviously didn't believe it, but the information in front of him was passed back by his most trusted subordinate, and it came from the ghost lamp family. The secret technique of the ghost lamp family can allow them to complete hydration and merge with the sea. So they are the easiest to get close to the Uzumaki village and observe the internal changes of the Uzuoshi village. Of course, the ninja of the Ghost Lamp clan never knew that he was able to come back alive because Su Feng wanted him to come back alive, not because he was not found. The guardian enchantment of Uzushio village is very large, but the coverage of Su Feng's Kagura Mind Eye is even more exaggerated than the guardian enchantment. As soon as the ninja of the Ghost Lamp family appeared, he confirmed the identity of the other party. But he didn't do it. The news of Uzumaki village cannot be hidden, and he never thought of hiding it. He told the outside world openly that Uzuoka village was not destroyed because of the invasion, on the contrary, its strength is stronger than before. It's true, my subordinates won't be mistaken, even according to my subordinates' observations, Uzumaki village didn't even lose any members. The ninja of the Ghost Lamp clan said cautiously. Speaking of it, he was also a little unbelievable. The two major ninja villages have produced their best, and the Uzushio village was lucky if they didn't win the Uzushio village, but you don't seem to have killed a few of them, so what's the matter? Is it possible that the elites of our two major ninja villages are all free living? What about our people? Where are they? Didn't they attack Uzumaki village? The veins on Third Mizukage's forehead were exposed, and he was obviously extremely angry. In his way of thinking, if few people died in Uzumaki village, it means that his subordinates were being lazy, although he didn't know why. Could it be that his subordinates are still waiting for the opportunity to attack? What a joke. How long has it been? And even if the attack is delayed, why not send a message to the village? Third Mizukage's head was a little confused. But what his subordinate said next almost made him vomit blood on the spot. At first, the subordinates didn't see our people. Swallowing his saliva, the ninja of the Ghost Lantern clan backed away without leaving a trace. He was really afraid that after listening to his words, Master Mizukage would get mad and hurt himself. So I searched around for a while. Then they were found in a big pit outside Uzumaki village. Mizukage froze for a moment. In the big pit? What are they doing in the pit? Digging tunnels. Sneaking into Uzumaki village. Is there a hole in the head? So many elites encircle Uzumaki village and it will be destroyed. Why do you use so many tricks? Third Mizukage breathed heavily, and seemed to hate iron for steel. No, Mizukage-sama, you misunderstood. The ninja shook his head quickly, knelt on the ground with a thud, squeezed out tears from the corner of his eyes, and let out a mournful cry. What my subordinates found were corpses, piles of corpses. Our people, the people of Cloud Shinobi village, all the ninjas who invaded Uzushio village, they. If there is no accident, the whole army has been wiped out. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.